the hell is going on, guys? My name is Cody Luongo. Welcome to the Reload Podcast. I'm here on Dust 2, as you can see. It's very beautiful. I think this is the older model, in fact. But here I am in the midst of it, right on the bomb site. This is a very dangerous place, so we're gonna have to burn through the show real fast. I don't want to get shot out here. You know, terrorists coming, CTs floating around, got the CZs. I might get shot. I might get killed out here, guys. It's a very serious matter, but I'm out here. It's May 16th, 2 p.m., Thursday, our time to become alive and talk some CS. That's what we do. Obviously, today, well, not obvious, but we're without our beloved DeBears today, so we'll be soloing the show. We have some talking points, obviously, in the news, stories that are coming up in CS. A couple of notable transfers, including one to Big, and Neo, of course, joining FaZe Clan. Huge news. Upcoming events, including DreamHack Dallas at the end of the month. But before that, you got CS Summit 4, one of the most important tournaments in the history of Counter-Strike. And I will explain some more of that later. And obviously, our Hotspawn play of the week. We'll get to that at the end. But to kick things off today, we have ENCE withdrawing from the MDL. So in a statement by the organization, the Finnish Squadron announced they will be withdrawing from MDL Season 31 due to a heavy calendar schedule. And this is a very reoccurring theme in Counter-Strike. You know, as the scene develops, there is somewhat of an oversaturation of games and leagues and tournaments for these players to play in, both LAN or offline and online. So they're either traveling or participating in these online events. So it just becomes a bit cumbersome for these players and teams to be devoting time to all these tournaments. But obviously, the decision from ENCE means that their withdrawal will make them unable to qualify for the ESL Pro League Season 10. So the next season of ESL Pro League, that's kind of a big story in itself. So people are a little bit questioning this, but as I mentioned, the organization wants to focus on these big tournaments they have ahead for the next 3 months and dedicate all that time to that there. But on the note of ENCE, you had them win the Blast Pro Series Madrid outing just a few weeks ago. They toppled Astralis in a BO3 final in Madrid. And just crusaded through this entire tournament, playing absolutely out of their mind. Just beating Astralis in itself, it was a huge victory at a Blast Refresh Entertainment event, nonetheless. For those of you who don't know, Refresh owns both Blast Pro Series and Astralis. So pretty big story there. Ariel had the MVP medal, and he mentioned in an interview afterwards that he played something like 160 hours of CS in the 2 weeks leading up to this event. So the team was well practiced. They were prepared. They said, again, in an interview that they knew they would do well, and I believe those were Ariel's words. But, you know, they didn't know how they would fare against Astralis, and as time went on, they ended up, or as time would tell, rather, they would beat them 2-0 in the grand final there to become the Madrid champions. And obviously, moving on a little bit, you have Furia taking down Ghost to qualify for the ESL 1 Cologne event. This was a tight BO5. Ended in 3-2 scoreline in favor of Furia, which enabled them to qualify for Cologne. And Ghost having to take a step back. Obviously, the team read tweets from James, the head coach, talking about they were a little upset that they're not going to be at Cologne this year. But nonetheless, the team's going to have to step back, recalibrate, and focus on what they got ahead of them, including CS Summit 4, which they'll be present at. So in terms of transfers, there was a couple roster moves, some more notable than the others. But obviously, the biggest story to come from this was Neo joining FaZe Clan, the ex-VP man. One of the most experienced players ever. I think his competitive background spans back to 2003. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. Again, we're live in the chat, so drop that in there. But the Polish superstar Neo, he joined FaZe in place of Adren, something that we thought would never happen or seemed like it would never happen. I think Adren spent 8 months with FaZe or something to that effect. And the organization mentioned how they were going to be with Adren for the foreseeable future. And I don't think anyone foresaw Neo, such a legendary name in the space, coming on to the team. As clarified by Nico through HLTV, the Pole will take on the role as a substitute as he undergoes this trial period with FaZe Clan. And Neo will be taking reins of the IGL position for the team, a role that was maintained by Nico for roughly a 6-month spell following the departure of Kerrigan, who's now on Mouse Sports. The first event, coincidentally enough, was against Neo's former team. It was against VP, and actually which FaZe was massively upset. And that was week 4 of ECS Season 7. So it was online. It was actually quite funny how 1 minute they had announced Neo, and his debut was hours after they completed the signing, or at least decided to announce it. So pretty big news. It was a 2-1 scoreline in which VP beat FaZe, and I think it was the first time VP had actually beaten a top 10 team in it might have been a year or longer. I remember seeing a tweet go out about that information, but nonetheless, a pretty big story. It's kind of interesting to see how Neo is going to fare. I mean, you have like a very seasoned super team here with FaZe. Neo certainly falls up in that category, but he had been inactive for quite some time. I think he was released from VP in December, so about 6 months that he's been out of the really heavy competitive scene. Jumping in with FaZe is likely going to take some time to warm up in that position, especially as an IGL and a role as important as that, guiding this team of superstars again. So hopefully he's not feeling too much pressure from that, but nonetheless, it'll be exciting to see how he fits into that role. Another roster stand-in situation is you have Jacob Ye Whitaker, who is standing in for Complexity right now. He has been with the team in 2017 and 18 in the team's active roster, standing in for Ricky, who's had just this sequence of visa issues. So they wanted to field him for Complexity at the ESL Pro League Season 9 Americas. And which Complexity ended up bombing out of 0-2 in the groups, facing against MIBR, Isurus, and Renegades. So it didn't work out too well, but nonetheless, in situations where you have a player missing a visa or visa issues, you definitely don't want to risk it. But it's not really the favorable situation for anyone, really. In terms of events, we have DreamHack Dallas at the end of the month. That's going to be a big tournament. You have Liquid and Snavi. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here. But it's going to be a big tournament. Obviously, Vitality is one of the teams in attendance. And you have 250K on the line. So that's at the end of the month, May 31st to June 2nd. And we'll probably touch on that a little bit more next week, but that's a big one coming up. And then you have CS Summit 4 next Friday. So the story of CS is actually provided, and this is a promo from last year's CS Summit 3, but the Summit has provided an interesting history in Counter-Strike, right? The winners of these tournaments have always become, historically, even though there's been only 3 of them, and now this will be the 4th, just major players in the game, right? You had the first one. The first CS Summit was won by the legendary SK Gaming roster that went on to win multiple majors. Then you have Team Liquid, who won CS Summit 2, and now they're obviously the second best team in the world right now. And NRG winning the Summit last year. So NRG is actually going to be playing at this tournament along, I think, Liquid and Ghost. Yes, Liquid, Ghost Gaming, ENCE, NRG, Renegades, and Vitality. So it's provided this kind of interesting theory or notion in Counter-Strike, is that the team that wins CS Summit, for whatever reason, goes on to have a very, a good-looking career in the space. I mean, NRG since Summit, and before then, had been a team on the up and up, and now they're certainly fulfilling that role as one of the top NA teams in the world at the moment. So, interesting to see. That's happening next Friday, so just about a week from tomorrow, we'll see that action getting underway at the Summit House in Los Angeles. Don't miss it. Okay, let's go. Watch the CS Summit 4. Support it. Support the teams. Support everybody. All right. If we're going with predictions for this event, Liquid probably taking first place, or ENCE. Again, ENCE is on fire lately. They just beat Astralis at Blast Madrid. I'm excited to see what Ghost Gaming can do here. Ghost, especially now that they have Freakazoid on the roster, so that extra bit of zest and firepower on that team will be definitely interesting to see. And you have Renegades and Vitality. So just a fun little mix of teams. Top tier nonetheless. Definitely we're not talking about just these bottom of the barrels teams. You have some good talent at the Summit House next week. So definitely check it out. But last but not least, we'll wrap it up with our Hotspawn play of the week, baby. You got an old dog but he has new tricks pulled up right now for you. It's Cold Zera coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes down in that insane AUG transfer from Cold Zera. And if you watched last week's show, he pulled it off again. He got the Hotspawn play of the week 2 weeks in a row, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And that AUG sprayed down is so nasty. Oh my God. I can't believe it. If you got the 5th, I would have absolutely lost my marbles. One more time. Bang, bang, bang. Thank you for the slow-mo, Tony. That's beautiful. Check it out. Takes down the 4th. Gorgeous stuff. Can't get out the pistol. If that connected that last shot, I would have lost it. Been clip of the year, ace of the year. But all right, guys, that's unfortunately going to cut it. Maybe a bit of a shorter show than we're used to, but obviously we have Bears who's casting ECS right now on the West Coast, so he is unable to make it. And yeah, so not the craziest week of Counter-Strike, but obviously I think the most important takeaways from this week are Neo, just keeping an eye on and CS Summit next week, and then DreamHack Dallas at the end of the month. So we have a pretty star-studded lineup of Counter-Strike to watch. Be on the lookout, and obviously follow us on Twitter at @TheReloadFM and our sponsors at Hotspawn Esports. Go there for the best in esports news, data analysis, covering League, Dota, CSGO, PUBG, a little bit of Smash content, just some good feature pieces to read. And obviously, as the site gets built out, they're implementing more and more features. So huge shout out to them, and obviously UGC for producing the show. So toss them a follow as well at UGC Events. And you can find us here every Thursday, twitch.tv/UGC. Come hang out with us, me and the Bears and Tony over there in the room. That's going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you so much.